Let's get some analysis on exactly what he was talking about there, that slide in the polling and support for the yes vote. I'm joined by Samaras, he's director at RedBridge Group. Thanks for your time as always. How concerning is this number in the news poll today for the yes campaign?
It's a continuation of a trend we've been seeing now for at least a few months, and that is the support for yes has been declining, or as we'd like to define it, basically the undecided voters are moving to the no column more than the yes column, and we can see that position of the yes campaign is now in a pretty serious situation about 4 states across the country, except New South Wales and Victoria. So yeah, I think it's going to be pretty difficult to turn it around. The yes campaign have made 3 mistakes to date. The first one is that they assumed that by not starting their campaign early, that they will have time to educate the electorate about what the proposal was all about. The second one is now that they're basically stating that now that it's out of the parliament, that they'll get clear air and they'll get cut through. And the third one is that they use their money to basically fix this problem. And I think all 3 are terribly terrible mistakes.
Alongside the campaign now, you've got the cost of living crisis, rates rising, hundreds of thousands of mortgage holders moving from fixed to variable over coming months. People increasingly will be angry about their situation. How much of a setback is that, and a difficulty, a hurdle for the yes campaign to overcome, Cos?
Yeah, it's a communication challenge, really. When you're worrying about paying the bills at the end of the week, not worrying about losing your home, then you're less likely to be accepting of any other information or political news out there. I mean, we do know through the research we do that most Australians really don't know much about this referendum. They don't know much about the detail. Even if they are supportive of First Nations people across the country, it is not animating them. Overwhelmingly, the most people that we talk to right now are preoccupied with mortgage interest rate rises, rent rises, and the cost of living in general.
The yes campaign obviously has to identify cohorts, groups that might be willing to change their mind and back this thing. Are they doing that in the right way? Is it a cohesive campaign?
It isn't a campaign. That's the problem that they've got. I mean, there's no, I would say, micro-targeting going on. There's no reaching out to particular constituencies in our large cities. You know, for example, in whether it's in New South Wales or in Victoria, you could see there's some deliberate strategy with the no camp. They are focusing on Queensland, WA, Tasmania and South Australia. They are the least diverse states in the country. That means it's an easier road for them to win the majority vote. Less so in our 2 biggest states, which are a lot more diverse. And we know that diversity, as in particularly Sydney and Melbourne, where there's a lot of migrants that have arrived into this country over the last 20 years, are generally quite supportive of the yes proposal, even if they don't know the information.
So from here, you said it's going to be difficult. Is it possible? Can the yes campaign turn this around? We've still got 4 or so months before the likely referendum day.
Yeah, that's right. So we know that the no vote, as it's been illustrated by a news poll this morning, is still soft. For the same reasons that the yes campaign's not animating the electorate, are the same reasons the no vote is actually quite soft. People are really not switched onto this referendum. It's not animating them. It's not the forefront of their mind. So will a far more sharper narrative that's focused on pitching a message that appeals to people's values, will that succeed? Possibly. But they are running out of time. They're running out of tarmac. And if you're looking at the state breakdown right now, they will need to get very strategic in terms of where they spend that $50-odd million that they reportedly have to pull over 4 of the states that they need to win this referendum.
Huge ask. Samaras, Director at RedBridge. Appreciate your insights as always. Thanks.
No problems. Thank you.